The summertime is a great opportunity to start using your sketchbook again and to maybe revisit some art goals that you set at the beginning of this year. Maybe it's a slower season at work, or you're on summer break, or just looking for a non-screen indoor activity to pass the time and stay out of the heat. Sketchbooks are a great companion for any kind of artist, whether you use it to plan your paintings, draw your OCs, record what's around you, or just experiment with new supplies. So in this video, I want to share some of my own tips and tricks that I use to get me back into sketchbooking more regularly this summer. And a big thank you to Colosso for sponsoring this video. Tip number 1, have a goal or ongoing project that you're using your sketchbook for. If you often feel like you have no ideas or don't know what to create when you go to draw or paint in your sketchbook, having a purpose as to why you're creating can give you that foundation and direction with using your sketchbook. I mentioned this in a similar sketchbook video from last year, and I think it still stands as a really great reminder, especially in less structured free time during summer holidays. Setting an intention for how you use your sketchbook, some common theme or goal you're working towards, really helps you in figuring out what to draw. I was unknowingly doing this pretty much all throughout middle school and high school, completing a sketchbook almost every month. Oh, the free time I had, because I was so inspired to use it to help me plan and complete AP homework and assignments, work on my own original characters and stories, and practice my fundamental drawing skills. These interests in completing my schoolwork, exploring my original stories, and developing my skills enabled me to have a clear direction and therefore made creating so much easier. I find that if you're just using your sketchbooks just to get to the finish line of the last page, kind of beats the purpose of having a sketchbook. Don't get me wrong, there is no one right way to use a sketchbook. I'm not the sketchbook police. But for me, the true enjoyment of using a sketchbook comes from doodling out fun OC scenarios, or recording the world around me in a visual diary, or drafting out ideas for an exciting new art project. So if you don't already, use your sketchbook intentionally this summer. Make it the backbone of working on your portfolio, full of notes and ideas. Use it to record your family vacation and do some people drawing, or you could just nurture your stories and interests for your own personal enjoyment, or just use your sketchbook as a way to just have fun. And maybe the goal is to be less intentional and just have fun and enjoy the supplies that you have and enjoy the summertime. Whatever sounds most exciting and enjoyable to you, use your sketchbook to explore and enjoy the process of whatever you're working towards. Tip number 2, use your sketchbook for note-taking and creative writing. This is a big reminder that sketchbooks don't have to be used just for drawing. If you're a student on summer break or just have some extra time on your hands this summer, taking a local or online art class, or just spending some extra time watching and implementing those art tutorials that have been sitting in your watch later for forever can be a great way to use your sketchbook and to keep track of what you're learning. And if you're looking for high quality, in-depth online classes from professional artists, I would love to share more about the sponsor of this video, Colosso, and how they can take your art to the next level this summer. Colosso is a global online learning platform for illustrators, game artists, character designers, comic artists, and more. As an entry-level comics artist, I've been taking Miki Muñoz's class, Perfect Guide to Smooth Transitions, Scripts to Comic Pages, paired with Ayn Bui's class, Visual Development 101, Your Golden Ticket to the Animation Industry, and it has completely changed the way I approach making comics and developing my own stories. I don't necessarily want to go into the animation industry, but visual development is something I've always been interested in and want to incorporate into my own projects. I also never had the opportunity to take a class like this in school, so being able to substitute a more expensive traditional art experience with more specific online classes at a significantly reduced price has really aided me in building my skills as an artist. I also think my biggest issue with a lot of online learning platforms is that they're mainly catered towards beginners, which isn't bad. Everyone has to start somewhere, and it's always good to refresh on fundamentals. But if you're an intermediate or professional level artist like myself, you realize a lot of online classes lack the depth, detail, and specific skills application that you need to get to the next level with your work. With Colosso's classes, I actually feel like I'm learning new things about storytelling, layer by layer processing, practices, and most of all, getting to hear from both Bui's and Muñoz's real-world experience and advice being in their respective industries. I'm happy to share that Colosso would also like to offer a special $45 off all of their illustration classes just for you guys this summer. So make sure to check out the link in the description below and start learning on Colosso today. Thank you again to Colosso for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Now back to the video. Drawing and applying what I learned right beside my notes in my sketchbook feels like it fulfills both a verbal and visual mode of learning for me. Even just writing down quotes that I like from books that I'm reading, random tips that I see online, and general to-do list keeps me motivated and inspired to continue to use my sketchbook and to finish my art projects outside of my sketchbook. And when I flip back through old pages, notes from past classes or tutorials help me to continue to remember what I learned and return to the same practices to further improve my skills. I'll look at an old breakdown of anatomy from an older sketchbook and then test what I know through a new character drawing and see if I need to brush up on some things by returning to that same exercise or to find new exercises to continue my learning. Just writing in general in your sketchbook helps you to keep track of projects or story ideas and keep you inspired to work on them. I find writing in my sketchbook with doodling things on the side is a lot more intuitive and inspiring of a process for me than using a Google Doc and trying to make a digital dashboard. I feel like having the traditional supplies and ability to just kind of make a mess and write a ton of notes on a sketchbook page really gets the ideas flowing and the inspiration a little bit more consistent. All in all, writing can be an amazing addition to your art practice, and what's a better place to do it than your sketchbook? Nothing has to be finalized or look nice. It can just be a stream of consciousness, a diary entry, or simple backstory notes for your character. Whatever is important, inspiring, or interesting to you, write it down. Tip number 3, keep a consistent creative habit. To really develop a sketchbooking habit this summer, being consistent in whatever way you can definitely help you get there. This could be filling one page a day, one sketchbook spread a week, whatever works best for your own goals and pace. This is super important. As long as you make it sustainable and enjoyable for yourself, it will actually happen. That habit will actually develop. Also, make sure to make this consistent habit or daily activity for you to do a measurable activity, and that means meaning that you set out to fill one page a day or complete one drawing a day rather than make a really cool, epic drawing every day. It's a lot harder to measure how cool and epic or objectively good something is because you're gonna feel differently about your art every day and have different energy levels and different expectations. So keeping it to just okay, you just need to draw for 10 minutes today, and if you did that, you were successful. Don't make it so oh, it has to be amazing, it has to look a certain way, because sometimes you can't control that. Sometimes you're lower energy, sometimes you don't have as much inspiration, so keep it measurable. And keeping it measurable and something that you can actually control and check off is much more motivating and actually leads to greater consistency. Some of my own tricks in getting myself to keep my daily drawing habit is to always keep my sketchbook on my desk or close by. If I'm tired after work and didn't get to draw yet that day, I make sure to leave my sketchbook and pencil bag on the couch. So after dinner, I'll be more motivated to draw. I know I'm gonna be lazy after dinner and I'm not gonna wanna go and get out my sketchbook and stuff, so already having it there on the couch really helps. Telling myself to just draw for 10 minutes, and usually after that 10 minutes, I get sucked into what I'm creating and feel a lot better. It's always that initial 5 or 10 minutes of focusing that's difficult to get over, especially when you're lower on energy or motivation. But once you do get past that hump of just starting, creating is so much more easier and enjoyable, and you'll be so happy that you did it. Tip number 4, take your sketchbook everywhere and draw what you see. Maybe you're going on vacation, studying abroad, move to a new area, or just want to get outside more this summer. You should take your sketchbook with you. Write notes of cool things you see, draw cool things that you see, draw people, places, outfits, the way people stand, flowers on your morning walk, anything that's interesting to you. This turns your sketchbook into a visual diary, documenting fun moments in or out of the house, hangouts with friends. It helps to build a visual library of things that are personally interesting to you to revisit later. And one of the biggest perks, it cuts down on screen time. Whenever I draw from life, I feel so much more mindful of my own emotions and the things around me. Drawing the long lines of customers and busy baristas, or taking my sketchbook to a local market and challenging myself to capture the gesture of people walking by. Plein air painting is also a great way to capture the world around you in your sketchbook, helping you to practice color and light. And even though it's a little bit more difficult than just drawing from life, it's super fun, and it's just such a more mindful and memorable way of documenting your day. This practice of casual life drawing can build both your drawing skills and drawing confidence in your regular work. Your ability to see what's around you from an artistic lens is a great skill to have, and it strengthens your confidence around decision making by forcing you to be a little bit faster and more efficient with your drawing. This can help you to develop your own unique style that you can take back into your regular studio practice. There's a really cool tour of one of Turner's sketchbooks on the Tate Museum YouTube channel that I really encourage you guys to go check out. Seeing his quick sketches of landscapes, people, and how he sort of encapsulated these memories of his travels is really inspiring, and it makes me want to document things more in my own life, even if I rarely travel. If you're like me and don't get to travel that often to new places, don't sleep on what you have around you. It may be familiar or boring to you, but there's still so many fun quirks and details to notice and observe in your daily life. I think drawing outside more regularly has made me appreciate where I live more. It may be the ever-growing commercial hellscape that is the United States, but there are still small little moments of community, nature, and beauty that I catch every time I go outside with my sketchbook. Maybe that's copium, but there are still so many beautiful things that you can observe and capture with your sketchbook every day. If it's not the things around you, just drawing your family, your friends, your pets can feel so good and just make you feel so connected with the people around you as well. My final tip number 5, stop using your sketchbook. I know this whole video was me blabbing and encouraging you to use your sketchbook this summer, but sometimes your sketchbook can become a comfort zone and hold you back from reaching your art goals. Now, reminder, if you just want to use your sketchbook as your sole artistic outlet and just vibing with whatever you want to do, that's awesome, that's great. But if you're wanting to be an artist in the entertainment or publishing industries, or just make pieces outside of your sketchbook, it's time to get a little uncomfy and just do that. You're never gonna feel ready and know how to do something until you just do it. When I was in high school, most of the art that I made was in my sketchbook. It was always ink, pencil sketches, or the occasional watercolor exploration. I was studying from life, writing notes from art tutorials, drawing fan art, or drawing my own characters. And while you can make amazing, stunning artwork with those supplies alone in your sketchbook, I wasn't making fully realized pieces unless it was for school. And most of all, I really wanted to be a digital painter. But I always told myself that I needed to get better in my sketchbook before actually painting the ideas I had. I still did some digital paintings and sketches over time, but not nearly as consistently as I needed to get to where I wanted to be. I was never taking my ideas out of my sketchbook, and that stunted my growth as an artist. And I so heavily regret having that mindset when I was younger. And it really wasn't until college where I was routinely making finished pieces that were outside of my sketchbook, both in traditional and digital media, where I learned the skill and importance of finishing creative projects, and I'm still having to work through that bad habit of saving ideas for later. So if you, right now, find yourself only working in your sketchbook, but always having plans for projects outside of your sketches, you should actually try to complete them this summer. Regardless of where your skill level is at, you learn a skill by doing, not by constantly studying and preparing all the time. Yes, preparing and doing practices can help, but what's really going to teach you is to actually make that comic, to actually make that painting, to actually put your work out there and make a portfolio and actually learn those skills of finishing artwork, of project management and all of those like important skills. So yeah, my final tip, if you were in the same boat as me a couple years ago, is to maybe stop using your sketchbook this summer. Maybe not completely, maybe you still use it as a way to plan your projects, but go out of your comfort zone and just try to actually finish your ideas and bring them to a more detailed and curated level than what you've done before. So I hope these tips will help you in your own sketchbook. Oh my gosh, my sketchbook. So I hope all of these tips will help you in your own sketchbook exploration this summer. Make sure to check out that $45 off coupon for Colosso if you're looking for more in-depth illustration classes and resources to build your skills and your portfolios. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, thank you so much to my patrons for supporting my art and my channel. Their names will be on screen pretty soon now, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Drink water and go draw something. All right, bye. And a very special thank you to my pastry chef members and my muffin mill members: AJ, Dolly, M, Calcifer Sparks, Rachel, Gianna, Brokebat, Zoe, Sierra, Plep, Julio, Anirin, Zoe Sketches, Sammy Bear, Neve, Mara, Jazz, Antlerfish, Cole, Kaylin, Shadora, Scoot and Boot, The Oven is Frozen, Sunlion, Autumn Fern, Rippled Nickel, Dreamy Mermily, Keisha, Be a Goldfish, Bowie, Tailsy, Nat, Ash, and Shokia. Thank you guys so much.